cool. Let me hit record. Okay, we're live. Let's get the chat box open. I know that was going. Last time that was in.
That was definitely
full
rowdy.
swing last time. Yeah.
That got rowdy.
Okay, so guys, today's training is going to cover alkalinity, which I know is probably the most talked about, and also tends to have the most objections, I think, regarding it, because people don't really know the other parts or speak about it. Last week we spoke about antioxidants, the active hydrogen, and we went more into detail about some chemistry. I'm going to be bringing up the periodic table of elements again today, so we can all be ready for that. Now, quickly, I'm going to do 7 minutes, a 7-minute session here of if anyone has questions about last week's training specifically, maybe even not 7 minutes, 7 minutes max. Does anyone have any questions after what I said last week? Because there's a list of questions you should be able to answer. I see a lot of people on here that were on the call last week. So if I ask them a question, I'm assuming they're going to know the answer. Fair enough. Patrick was on, Chantel was on, Jennifer, Jack, Samuel. I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody else. So do you guys have any questions last week, or can you answer the question, what is oxidative stress? Can you answer the question, how does the machine create an antioxidant? Remember last week I gave you a list of questions of things you can know. Okay, do you guys have any questions about that? I'm happy to if you don't know the answer to the questions, you don't need to feel like on the spot or embarrassed or anything. I'm happy to run people through it. It took me a few run-throughs before I grasped it myself. Does anyone want me to clarify anything from last week's training as of now? If not, that's okay. Okay, cool. Right on, guys. That's what. Yeah.
Can you please do kind of maybe a recap for some who weren't here, and then also a free radical? I don't remember what that was.
Yeah. So I won't do a full recap for everyone everyone that wasn't here. That's why we did our recordings. But I will certainly tell you what a free radical is. So let me get my slideshow open here. So I don't even have my whiteboard out. I should do that. Hold on. I'll just do this. This will be the easiest way. Okay, so a free radical is an atom that is missing electrons. It's an unstable atom. It's missing electrons. So here, let me actually just do this quickly here for you guys then. By the way, that is like probably the best question to have, because if you don't know what a free radical is, it doesn't even matter what an antioxidant is. Is that okay? It's kind of. The beauties of working from home, right, guys? Okay. So just a quick recap here, and I did get the answer, by the way. I posted it in the 4A group. Tessa asked why it's called H2, and I was able to get the answer from a hydrogen specialist here in Hong Kong. So if you quickly remember, an oxygen atom has 8 of each of these. So it has 8 positively charged protons. It has 8 neutral charged neutrons, and then spinning around it, it has 8 electrons, which are negatively charged. Okay, so this is an oxygen atom. Okay, Chantel right here. 8 in the middle, 8 on the outside. A free radical is when it's missing an electron or 2. And now it's unstable. And it's called a free radical scavenger is what it's called. A free radical scavenger, because this guy's going around and he's trying to replace these electrons. He's trying to take them back. So what happens is when we breathe in these unstable free radical oxygens, they take the electrons from our healthy cells. And this is what causes us to age. when we drink hydrogen, hydrogen is really unique because it only has one. It has a single electron. So here's our electron, right? Our hydrogen right here. What happens is, because it's only got one and this guy's searching for one, it's able to bind. It's able to bind with the okay? And then the same thing happens here. So now we have water, right? Hydrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, H2O. So we have the free radical, which is an atom that's missing electrons, and then our active hydrogen attaches because it has the one available electron. Okay, so that'll be our quick recap. If you want to learn the rest, you can catch it on last week's recording. Okay, so thanks for the great question. Let's no, I haven't posted it yet. That's why I haven't posted it yet, Danielle, or pardon me, Chantel. All I did was Tessa asked me, why do we call it H2 instead of H? Because we do, in all the articles that you read, electrically reduced water, active hydrogen water, ionized alkaline water, it says H2, not just H. And the reason is because when you have a single hydrogen, it's like, I need to connect to something. And then it just kind of partners with this other H. So we have the H2s going around. That's why, because hydrogen by itself is like, no, like find anything. Yes, okay, perfect. Yes, I can do that, Jennifer. Okay, so guys, today we're gonna roll right into alkalinity. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys the list of questions that we need to be able to answer by the end of this, just like I did last time. Okay, so if you've got your pen and paper handy, please write these down. The first question is, what is the pH scale? Please write that down. The second is, what is the pH level of humans' blood? So what is our pH level, human pH level? Next, just write pH level of Kangen water and why. What happens when we are too acidic? What happens when the body's fighting acidity? Bonus for knowing for knowing how the body without any help combats acidity. And then what is the difference between ionized and alkaline water? Ionized alkaline water and regular alkaline water. Okay, so I'm gonna do something a little bit different this week, and I'm actually gonna run through some slides of my presentation. Can you please repeat the last three things you said? You went all robotic. Here, why don't I just post them in the group here? Just post them in the chat. There you go. Okay, guys, so I'm going to, if you want to just take a screenshot of that or a picture of that, that'd be great. I'm going to now just quickly run through my slides of my sales presentation, and then I'm going to get into the bulk of today's discussion, because despite those questions that I said need to be the ones that you answered, I'm going to give you a lot more tools to use in your arsenal when it comes to discussing the alkalinity, because more and more it's the most common objection after price. People say, oh, but the alkaline diet, this, doesn't it, like one thing you'll get, 1 out of 10 times is someone that says that you're not supposed to drink alkalinity because it messes up your stomach acid, or you get people talking about, oh, there's nothing that shows that it's beneficial. There's some articles that do, some articles that don't, la, la, la. So I'm just going to go a little bit more in depth in no particular order today on the benefits of alkalinity and acidity. But before I do that, I'm just going to run through my slideshow of the acidity aspect. Okay, so let me just do this really quickly. Josh, please give me thumbs up when you can see that my screen is shared. You can see, just good. Yeah, good, okay. Is it, can you guys see that on your side? It says the problem acidity. Okay, guys, so we can stop taking down our notes. Just take this in for a moment. This is the presentation that I show prospects. So if you have someone that you want me to present for, please keep in mind that this is the same content that they're going to be seeing. The slideshow that I made ended up being just as effective for training as it is for pitching, which is obviously really, really, really good when it comes to a tool used for business and sales. If the sales pitch is a useful training tool, you have yourself some really solid information. Okay, guys, so today we're talking about acidity. What is the problem, or what does pH stand for? Okay, guys, so pH stands for potential for hydrogen. Okay, we're going to be talking a little bit more about this. I brought up the periodic table of elements last time. I brought that up for the atomic reasons. Today, I'm going to be bringing it up for a different reason. Okay, so the pH stands for potential for hydrogen. The pH scale is used to measure how alkaline or acidic something is. The pH scale is out of 14, meaning 7 is in the middle. 7 is what is considered neutral. Everything below 7 is considered acidic. Everything above 7 is considered alkaline. So if you have something with a pH level of 4, it's going to be acidic. If you have something with a pH level of 10, it's going to be alkaline. And if you have something with a pH level of 7, it's going to be neutral. The human blood has a natural pH of 7.4, meaning we are slightly alkaline. Slightly, ever so slightly, but nevertheless, we are alkaline. The Kangen water we drink is between 8.5 and 9.5, so considerably more alkaline than our blood, which I will explain in a moment. And sorry guys, if you're typing things in the chat, I'm unable to see right now with my screen sharing. Actually, maybe I can bring it up. Yeah, so just please keep that in mind. Okay, so we'll explain in a moment why the water we drink is more alkaline than our blood. So a quick recap on this page here, guys. The body has a natural pH of 7.4, so slightly alkaline. A change in blood pH as little down to 7.35 is medically considered acidosis. Symptoms of excess acidity can include fatigue, being tired, indigestion, heartburn, what's it called past heartburn? Acid reflux, brittle hair and nails, inflammation, and arthritis. So I'm actually going to stay here for just a moment. Typically, I wouldn't when I'm doing a presentation because, as I'm sure you guys are finding out more and more, when it comes to sales presentations, and certainly ours, sometimes we can't tell people everything they need to know in our first interaction. Otherwise, we'll be speaking to them for 3 or 4 hours because there is so much to what we do. But I am going to spend a moment on here. Okay, so Let's start with fatigue, with being tired. Interestingly enough, out of all the articles I've found, there is one where it says, like, basically empirically, by the way, sorry, when I say empirical evidence, for those of you that aren't familiar, empirical evidence is a scientific term used when it cannot be disputed. It is empirical, right? It's empirical evidence that gravity exists. If I throw a rock out this window, it's going to smash onto the ground. That's empirical evidence of gravity. Symptoms of excess acidity can include, okay, so fatigue. So yeah, in an article that I have, and I'm sure I've sent it to you guys. If not, I can dig through it and send it out to you. It actually says that, you know, besides all these other benefits, for professional athletes, the one thing that they can absolutely say is beneficial about drinking this type of water for athletes is they sleep better. My mom sleeps way, way better. I know several people now. I've spoken with several of my downlines. Like, I have a nice handful of people couldn't sleep before. They're sleeping terribly, couldn't sleep. Now they're sleeping. So I heard that, right? Okay, I'm really interested in this. Like, why is my mom sleeping soundly, not waking up at all in the nighttime for the first time in, 12 years? Turns out that when your cells are acidic, you're agitated. And it kind of got me thinking. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's almost like, like being sunburned. Like, it's just like, like if your cells are acidic, right? They're, ouch. Like, they're kind of like, like agitated and just like, you're acidic. So the alkalinity kind of cools them off. It allows you to relax. The more that you dig into this, guys, and please, I always have and I always will encourage people to do their own research. Okay, I've said this from the start of my career and I'll continue to say it to the end. Even if you hear me say something, find it for yourself before you start saying it to other people. Okay, so find it yourself. And I'm happy to send you what I have as well. Anyways, it doesn't really take a rocket scientist to realize that if you're acidic, just think of acid. Okay, when you think of acid, what comes to mind? Not a good night's sleep. That's for sure. Now, indigestion. Okay, this one is easy to think about. If you're acidic, you're going to have heartburn. You're going to have acid reflux. Like, I used to have forms of heartburn when I slept. Now, I think it's because I was drinking way too much alcohol all the time. And I don't actually know if it's from the alcohol or if it was from all the soda that I was drinking with the alcohol. But regardless, I would wake up sometimes and be like, oh my God, it feels like I'm just being cooked. Like, I haven't had that in years now. Haven't had it in years. And thinking about it, I don't think I had it while I was drinking Kangen water. One of my downlines in Hong Kong, she had really bad heartburn. She was even drinking 9.5, bad heartburn. What did I tell her to do? I told her to, take a shot glass, fill up the 11.5 when it really starts kicking up, and just throw that in your body. She said it was immediate results. My top performing downline, his name is Andy. He had absolutely horrific acid reflux. Gone immediately when he started drinking water. Again, this doesn't take a rocket scientist. If you got acid coming up and you put alkaline down, it's gonna handle it. Brittle hair and nails. Now this one is interesting. I'm not going to stay on this a long time, but the more that you start thinking about acid, like when I first thought about acid, what do you think? What you think about acid? You think about like a barrel of like bright green, like Batman, like just dissolving. Like when I think of acid, that's what I think of. And so brittle hair and nails, it kind of goes hand in hand with that whole thought process. Inflammation. Now, this is really interesting. There's something called gout. Okay. Gout is extremely painful, and it's a buildup of what's called uric acid in your feet. You swell. It's extremely painful. I've never had it, but I know some gentlemen that have. Andy suffered from gout terribly. Taking the water, gone. Now, I can so confidently say that our machine helps with gout because it's one of the primary things that is used in Japanese hospitals with the machine. I can send you guys again a short YouTube video, but it's primarily used to help treat people with diabetes, gout, and eczema. Gout is high on that list. And then finally, arthritis. So this is, guys, I said there's a bonus in here today where it's if you can explain how. Okay, guys, let me just backtrack here. Okay, people are gonna say to you, some people that are smart, or some people that are educated, or some people that think they're smart, are going to say the body maintains its alkaline level. Like, we don't need to drink alkaline water because our body maintains the 7.4. So on that note, quickly, some Enagic distributors will say that we're drinking this water to increase our alkaline level. That is false. We are not doing that. You do not want to do that. You do not want to increase the alkalinity of your blood. There's something called acidosis. There's also something called alkalosis. So alkalosis is the reason that babies drink neutral, 7.0. You do not want to get, like, you don't want to get acidosis, but you definitely don't want to get alkalosis. And by the way, you would have to drink such an absurd amount of Kangen water to get there. You'd have to be drinking like 4 gallons a day for probably a month before you started seeing any issues. Now, guys, arthritis, maintaining our body's pH level. Now, pH is used in a few places in our body. Okay, pH is used by our spleen. The spleen is found directly below the stomach. Okay, so out comes this insanely acidic. It used to be food, and now it's just this like pile of gloopy acid and food, and it comes out of your stomach. And in order for the acid not to cook your intestines, the spleen will actually spray that with alkaline, which makes it so we can digest it properly. However, in our body, okay, our body has a natural priority list, right, of things that it's going to maintain. You may have heard that if you jump into freezing cold water, the body will take the blood from your extremities, from your legs and from your hands, and put it into your organs. This is to, of course, keep your organs warm. In our body, maintaining the pH level of our blood is top priority. So if it starts to see like you're drinking soda, you're eating, McDonald's all day, you're smoking cigarettes, you're stressing out, you're just doing things that are making you acidic, not sleeping properly, staring at your phone all day, you're doing all the things, again, drinking soda to make yourself acidic. When the body can sense that, okay, you dip down to 7.395, like just a small dip, what happens is the body, and I'm about to get into this with the periodic table in a moment, the body will draw from its only alkaline deposits in the body. The only thing that's naturally alkaline in our body are our bones. Our bones are made of alkali earth metals and alkali metals. So our body will draw from these deposits of alkalinity to maintain the blood level. So this is what leads to arthritis. I'm going to send you guys a really thought-provoking article later talking about active hydrogen, talking about the alkaline water and the effects that it has on rheumatoid arthritis. Now, guys, you see down here in the bottom, results may vary. We are not making scientific claims, okay? We have to be very critical about this. Again, you guys know why. I've personally experienced testimony on testimony on testimony of these types of things being affected. My mom, even one of them with arthritis in her thumb. We're not making scientific claims, but we have articles that do. But this is not, you cannot go out and say, this is going to cure your arthritis. This is going to cure your, results may vary. They haven't for me so far. If people have these ailments, it tends to ease them. But I'm going to send you guys a really thought-provoking article, actually 2 of them I can show you in a moment, about the effects that this type of water has on arthritis. Okay, so anyways, when I first found that out, I found it very intense, to be honest, about the fact that our body will take the minerals out of our bones to maintain its blood pH. I was like, whoa, like it's pretty serious. Okay. So guys, why do we drink 8.5 and 9.5 when our blood's only 7.4? Okay, so as I just mentioned, the body does an incredible job of maintaining its blood alkalinity. However, why does acidity appear to be such a problem these days? Now I'm using logical thought processes with this, but whether you believe humans have existed for 4,000, 4,500 years, Judeo-Christian, or you believe they've existed for 250,000 years, evolution, whatever, however long you believe we've been walking on this planet, what we've done in the past 4 or 5 generations, our bodies haven't been able to adapt overnight. You go back to our great-great-granddaddies, they were not eating processed, disgusting, oily, fake food. They couldn't just go down to the 7-Eleven and get a 6-pack and a pack of cigarettes. There wasn't all this pollution. Again, processed food, fried food. There wasn't so much garbage that they were being exposed to. And as a result, if you look at, again, the biological clock, there's been thousands of generations before ours, and in the past 3, we've exposed ourselves to incredible amounts of acid, and we just haven't been able to adapt in the overnight, past 2-3 generations. So this is why we're drinking 8.5 to 9.5. It's not to increase our alkaline levels. It's to help offset the incredible amounts of acidity we've exposed ourselves to. Okay, now typically I would go into this, but I'm going to actually talk about this in more detail with you guys today. The difference between ionized and plain water has antioxidant potential, which you guys learned about, right? Like regular alkaline water does not have this. It does not have the active hydrogen with the antioxidant potential. It just has the alkaline minerals, which our body have an incredibly difficult time breaking down. Okay, so I'm going to speak on some of the more prominent realities. Okay, let me just. So you're saying you drink less alcohol and soda, or you drink more Kangen water to counteract the alcohol? I'll tell you, Chantal. For the first 2 years of Enagic, I was not drinking less alcohol. I was drinking the exact same amount, but I was drinking tons of Kangen water and not feeling the heartburn. This year, I can probably count the number of times on one hand, or maybe 2, that I drink an alcohol, and I'm drinking tons of water. When you're hungover, drink this. Okay, Jennifer, I don't know if you meant to say this privately or not, but she said when you're hungover, drink 11.5. Don't drink a lot of 11.5. You will mess yourself up. You can have a shot or 2. So if you have leg or foot cramps, what would be best to drink to get rid of it right away? If you have cramps, it just means you're dehydrated. You're not drinking enough water, period. So you just need to drink more water. That's all. Okay, guys, so now let me get into some of these more interesting things that I brought up here today. So let me just move this here. I can move this here too. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to bring up is this. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Josh, please let me know if it appears. Okay, guys, so the next time, good. Okay, so the next time you guys are in the store and you see pH water, I want you to do this and drop it in the 4A group for us to see. Okay, because when you pick it up, you're like, whoa, sodium bicarbonate, dipotassium phosphate, magnesium sulfate, looks like calcium chloride. Whoa, there's chemicals in this. People are like, oh, they're minerals, they're not chemicals. Well, little do people know, minerals are chemicals. There's no differentiating the two. You see this here? Sodium? Well, let's look at this. What do we got? What's that? Oh, looks like sodium. And then how about what we've got here? Dipotassium. Can we find potassium on here? Oh, there it is again. Oh, it's in that same row there. I see. So I just want you guys to do that, because when you see it, you're kind of like, whoa. And then we're looking at the periodic table of elements, all of the different chemicals that are found, period. And we're seeing them in the bottled water. So there's a stark difference between ionized water and the regular alkaline water. I'm just saying this, guys, again, for handling that objection. You don't need to go out of your way to explain this to people, but some people will bring it up, and it's important that you have the right answers. Our sales don't come from our pitch. Our sales come from handling the questions. So what's the difference between our water and theirs? So I kind of touched on this last time, but I didn't really go into it. So guys, you see all the different colors here, all these pretty colors we're looking at here? We have grouped the chemicals into groups, and they're all found here on the bottom. Okay, so we can see we have alkaline metal, transition metal, basic metal, semi-metal, non-metal, halogen, noble gas, lanthanide, and actinide. Lanthanide and actinide consist of things like plutonium and uranium, so we don't need to go into those. These ones yellow here: noble gas, halogen, non-metals, okay, semi-metals, basic metals, transition metals, and then here we have alkaline earth metals and alkali metals. So you can see hydrogen falls in this group here, but it also has its own unique coloration. It falls in this group here because it is, of course, alkaline, potential for hydrogen, more hydrogen makes it alkaline, but it's in this group because of the alkali metals. So we can see that when we add sodium or potassium, we are going to be increasing the alkalinity of the body. You know, we've just got this body here, and we drop some sodium in it, we drop some potassium in it, that's going to increase the alkaline level. Ours is just hydrogen. So we're just adding more hydrogens to it. It's a massive, massive difference. I do encourage you guys always to do your own research, but just understand it is a substantial difference between the two. Okay? I'm going to send you guys this here, the list of symptoms of being too acidic. Again, guys, like, this is the way that I like to do my trainings. I don't like to do these big presentations. I like to just show you guys things that I find, because you can find them too. So being acidic, unhealthy skin, unhealthy mouth, digestive problems, joyless and depressed, that's actually an interesting one. And it affects your whole body. La, 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 la. They even have drinking alkaline water in here. Cool. So this is, guys, one of the articles. Consumption of water containing a high concentration of molecular hydrogen reduces oxidative stress and disease activity in patients with rheumatoid arthritis, an open pilot study. So I'm not going to go through all this, obviously, but here we suggest that high H2 water may be useful to complement conventional rheumatoid arthritis therapy. May be useful to complement, right? Very important that they word it this way. Conventional rheumatoid arthritis therapy by reducing oxidative stress, especially in early stage. However, high H2 water is freely available, and its benefits could also be demonstrated spontaneously by observing the disease rates in people who regularly drink it. Basically, what that last sentence is saying is that use testimonies to make your own judgment, is basically what that final sentence is saying. I have another one here that I'm happy to send you guys. Our results show that H2 inhibited oxidative stress levels in a rheumatoid arthritis model and cells. H2 reduced the levels of oxidative stress, la, 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 la. In conclusion, our data demonstrated that H2 could be a novel therapeutic molecule in the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, and further investigation is needed to explore its exact role. So basically what they're saying by this sentence is that from their data, it appeared to work, but they're not really sure why, okay? So anyways, guys, the more you look, the more you'll find. I've got a pile of things like this. So that's going to be in conclusion to that. Now, the final thing I'm going to talk about, I'm going to send you guys. This is a really nifty video if you haven't seen it already. Okay, this is Dr. Michael. He's got tons of great videos for us on Kangen and Enagic. He draws out basically everything I just explained to you guys about the difference between regular alkaline water with the minerals added, with the chemicals added, versus the alkalized water with the active hydrogen. The final video I'm going to send you guys today so you can have a look is that some people will tell you that drinking alkaline water is going to mess up when you eat, when in fact it does not at all. Some people think that our stomach is just this big like bowl of acid. In fact, I've even spoken to doctors about this, which was really surprising to me, but they think that it's just a big like bowl of acid. In reality, when your stomach's not full, you guys have heard this, it shrinks. It shrinks and there's barely any acid in it. In fact, what actually happens, let me see if I should draw this. And this guy explains this, but I do want you guys to know just in case you don't actually watch it. But I don't know where my eraser is. Okay, guys, so most people think that the stomach, okay, guys, so most people think that this, like, right, like, so food goes in, it goes down. Most people think our stomach is just this, like, big, like, thing of acid, right? And there's just all this acid in there. It's just, that's not the case. That's not actually what the stomach is like. Okay, guys? What it's actually like when you're not eating, when you're not full, is what happens is this shrinks. So what it actually looks like is it looks more like this. Okay, so this is your stomach right here. That's your stomach. And what happens is there's this small, like, little layer of acid that's left over that's there. Okay? Then what happens when you're drinking alkaline water when you're not full is the water comes in and just goes over and goes through. It doesn't go in there and mix with it and mess it up. It just flows through your body. Okay, so I'm going to send you a video here. It's really useful video to send to people that bring up, oh, well, what about it messing up your digestive process? Because we need acid, of course, to break down food. So I'll send you guys that video there. That's going to be my conclusion for right now, unless we have any great questions that come up that I need to talk about. The final thing I'm going to say to you guys before we open up the floor for questions is that the alkalinity is the least important factor of what our water does. The active hydrogen for the antioxidant is incredibly important, and the reduced microclustering, which we're going to be talking about next week, is incredibly important. The alkalinity is important, but in terms of our health, it is the least important factor of what our water does. So if people are really like clinging on to that objection, you can just say, forget about it. Forget about the alkalinity. Look at the H2, look at the active hydrogen, look at the hydration and the detox. And that's what we're going to be talking about next week. Okay, guys, so floor is going to be open now. Anyone have any questions for me? I'm going to just run through everyone. Let's start with Natalie. Do you have any questions? Did you learn anything today? What do you think?
I definitely learned a lot, lots of notes, but no questions.
Okay, good. I don't know if we've actually formally, like, properly introduced, but please add me on Facebook. You can ask me anything, anytime. Always here to help. Great meeting you. Thanks for taking notes. And I'm sure some questions will come up, right? Because you start to chew in the info and then you do some research. You go, what about this? What about that? Please ask me, okay?
Okay, nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, it's good to meet you. Patrick, you got anything today, bud? You're muted, Val. You're muted. There you go.
No questions at the moment. Just a notebook full of notes. I'm good.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's what we like to hear. Josh, any questions? Anything on today? Or?
No questions. I'm just wondering when the link that you just shared, if you could throw it in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that link.
Yep.
So that people have it.
I'm going to share both, but yeah, the doctor talking.
Yeah, the doctor one. That looks like a really solid video.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Yeah, here, I'll share them both right now.
Yeah.
Nolan, do you have any questions, bud?
No, actually, I was gonna have one, but you went over stuff, so I'm good.
That's what I like to hear. Nolan, I want to hear about how your meetings went the other day too. Not now, but I do want to hear about it. Give me a call later. Chantel, do you have any questions?
Yeah.
You always got great questions.
I actually am just looking forward to watching the videos and learning more. I'm just kind of trying to take this all in. It's a lot of knowledgeable information. Thanks, Bill Nye, the science guy.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know it is a ton of info, guys, but that's why we do the recordings. You know, we don't need to drag these on. I really dislike when videos go for like 2 hours. It's just not. Yeah, it's not the way. Jack with Upwater. You got any questions?
No, I've seen it a couple of times now, and I think
Attaboy.
that I
Yeah,
got some
attaboy.
idea what's going on.
Good. Jennifer, I know your Wi-Fi is kind of in and out, and you've been dropping questions. If you've got questions, please drop them into the side. Samuel, any questions today, buddy?
No, mostly just listening.
Cool. Awesome. Good. We'll have a chat. Jordan?
Yeah, you talked about how like when your stomach's empty, the water just kind of flows over. And I know that the reason it hydrates us better is because the active hydrogen gets into the cells easier. So if, like you said, the water's just flowing through the stomach, so from the moment we're drinking it, is it entering through our cells rather than like getting to our stomach and like is
I think I know what
Sorry,
you're
focus
asking.
on
I think I know what you're asking. I'm gonna cover
Okay.
that next week to some extent, but it's both. Like when you drink regular water because of the clusters, it's all just going into your stomach. When you drink
Right.
ours, a portion of it is getting like penetrated on the way down, but some of it, of course, goes into your stomach. Yeah, like you can feel it going into your stomach. I think that answers your question, right?
Yeah, just because I don't get the heavy stomach feeling like
Yeah,
tap water
exactly. And that's
does.
because a lot of it is just getting absorbed through the cells. Like you're drinking it and it's getting dispersed as it goes down, opposed to just going right into your stomach. But yeah, so that's the answer. Yeah, good. Any other ones?
Thanks. Not right now. No, I've got a bunch of notes, but
Cool.
I'm happy I'm back.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's good to hear you again, man. Definitely good to see you on here. Gabriel, do you have any questions?
Okay, I have a question about the products, not about today's teaching, because I installed my machine yesterday. And is it normal for the secondary hose to run a bunch of water after you shut it, the tap off?
Yeah, yes, it is. I can send you the recording of last week's presentation. I actually do cover that.
Okay.
What happens is when because the pH scales out of 14, right? You remember that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So what happens is whatever's coming out of one tube, the opposite is coming out of the other. So if you have 9.5 coming out of the drinking tube, out of the other
Mm-hmm.
tubes coming 4.5.
So what can you do with that water?
You can do many things with it. It's really good for it's a fabric softener. So my mom doesn't waste a drop. Some people don't like to waste a single drop of water, which fair enough. My mom, she has this little like bucket thing that she fills it up with, and then when it's filled, she just throws it in the wash. The washing machine.
Mm-hmm.
I think they actually call it shine water or something. I'll send you through a picture. Actually maybe right now if I've got it handy, but you use it it's good for yeah, I've got it here. I'll send it to you in our chat right now. It's good for shining glass. It's really good at like cleaning glass and stuff.
Like what do you call Windex?
Yeah, you can use that. You can use the 2.5 for that as well, but you can absolutely use the 4.5. Let me just drop this into you right there.
So you can fill it in your car windshield water tank.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one. Yeah, I just sent you through two things there, so give those a look, and that should definitely shed some light on what you asked. But yeah, you and I should hop on a call anyways, and just have a proper introductory call. So we'll schedule something in our chat. Yeah.
All right then. Okay, thank you.
Great.
So
and
much.
Congrats on having your machine, and welcome to the team. Thanks. We're very happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anthony told me that he is busy right now, and Dan, it's good to see you again. Dan, do you have any questions?
Thank you. No question at this time.
Okay.
Appreciate it, man.
Okay, awesome, guys. Well, that's going to be a conclusion to our training today. If anyone ever has questions, you know where to find me. You can find me on my Instagram, which is first name, last name. You can find me on Facebook Messenger, or I can always send you my my WhatsApp number because I'm in Hong Kong. So I don't have texting. I just have WhatsApp. So, Eli's back. Any questions after today, buddy?
No, I was kind of just listening, but
solid.
I don't know if I got access to the replay, so I was gonna watch the first one because I was stumped at the beginning. I guess.
I mentioned that yet. I've been going through some internet issues at my house, so I haven't been able to upload it because I don't want to use my data to upload it. But in the next week or two, trust me, guys, you're gonna have all the YouTube videos of this training and the prior one as well. Okay, guys, I want to thank you all for being here today. We will see you all same time, same place next week. Please save the Zoom link, set alarms. Next week's going to be really exciting. We're covering my favorite part of what the water does, which is the detox and hydration aspect, the part that I'm pretty sure is the most impactful for changing a lot of lives. So again, thank you all very, very much. I hope you have a phenomenal evening and a great week coming up. All right, guys. Peace and love.
Thank you, Matt. Matt, I have a question for you, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So you were mentioning about the gout.
Yeah.
And so I have a family member with gout. So can you please send me more information or let me know where I can find that information?
Absolutely, I will. Yeah, I'll send that to you right away.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.